Hi, everybody. It's so good to see you all. Do me a favor and just type your name in the chat for me. It helps me take attendance. Perfect. Thanks, guys. Super, super helpful. We will get started in just a second. Give everyone a sec to just type your name in the chat if you haven't already. It is so good to see everybody. Hope you all had a great weekend. Can't wait to hear about it during Talk Story Time. All right, there's only a few of us today, but that's okay. We're going to have a great health corner. Okay, so thank you all for being here. Today we're going to talk about bacteria and germs. We are heading into flu season, so it's super, super important for us to know all about that good stuff. So the first thing I want us to talk about is what are bacteria, right? What are these little things? They're actually tiny microscopic organisms. So think of them as like animals maybe, but they're super, super small. They're so small that we can't see them unless we use a microscope. So a microscope is something like a magnifying glass. It helps make the small things look bigger so that we can see them. And bacteria are so small that we need a microscope to see them. So how big are they? Well, they're super tiny. If you can see on this chart here, if you think about how small a grain of salt is, right? One single grain of salt, a bacteria is way smaller than that, right? Super tiny. And there are 39 trillion microbes and bacteria that call our bodies home. So that's super cool. There's so many bacteria out there. Because they're so tiny that there can be a lot of them out there. Can you imagine 39 trillion people? I can't. That would be a lot of people, huh? All right, so where do bacteria live? They live everywhere. Bacteria is found everywhere in our environment, in and on our bodies, and on almost everything that we touch. So we can't see it, but if you look at your hand, if you can even believe it, if you took a microscope on there, there'd be so many bacteria, right? And different bacteria grow in different environments. So for example, some bacteria that's found on the outside, in the outdoors, on the trees, maybe wouldn't be found in our skin, right? They're kind of like, if you think about animals, like polar bears don't live in the desert, right? So in the same way, some bacteria is going to grow in certain environments and other bacteria is going to grow in or in different environments. What do bacteria look like? Well, they come in all different shapes, species, and sizes. So they can look like little balls, like a little basketball, or they can be long, like a worm. They can come in funky shapes and sizes. It's kind of hard to imagine because we can't see bacteria every single day, but they're all around us in the environment. And we want to see all the bacteria in or on our body is called our microbiome. So that might be a new word for some of us. It's a little bit of a tough word, but you guys are so smart. And basically what the microbiome is, if you can think about like how a lot of animals live at the zoo, a lot of the bacteria that live on our body lives in our microbiome. And this microbiome is responsible for helping us live healthy lives. So our microbiome does a lot of great things that we're going to talk about today. But I know that this is a new topic. Does anyone have any questions about that so far? It's okay if you don't, but thought I would pause for a sec to ask. We're all good? Okie dokie. All right, so now are bacteria bad? I know a lot of times we think that they're bad, right? Like bacteria might make us feel sick, but bacteria actually aren't necessarily bad. Many bacteria are actually probiotic. So that's another new word, maybe for some of us. Probiotic just means that they're actually really helpful and good for our bodies. And we need these bacteria to survive. They're super beneficial to us and they help us live healthy lives. So these are all the great things that bacteria that are probiotic help us with. So they help us digest our food. They help us promote good mood and memory. They increase our energy, they protect our skin, they fight toxins and pathogens in our body. That's super great. Now, how does probiotic bacteria help us? Well, we just talked about some of it. But here's a couple other things. So the good bacteria actually will protect us against the bad bacteria, the bacteria that would harm us. The good bacteria in our body helps us keep that away. It also helps support our digestion and helps us absorb all the nutrients from our food that we eat. It also helps boost our immune system and keep us feeling healthy, and it helps us balance our immune response. So if you think about like us sneezing, right? We're getting out all that bad bacteria and letting the good bacteria grow. It helps support our metabolism and cardiovascular health, so our heart health, and also supports our nervous system. So our brain helps us stay healthy overall. So, but as we all know, if anyone has ever been sick with a cold or a flu or just felt a little under the weather, some bacteria can be pathogenic. So that might also be a new word. We've learned 3 newer words today. Pathogenic basically means that they make us feel sick. So probiotic, good for you. Pathogenic means that they make us feel sick. So let's talk about a few ways of how to maintain the good bacteria or the probiotic bacteria and minimize the bad bacteria. And a lot of these things are things that you have already been doing because we talked about them in our summer series through Health Corner. So the first thing that we can do, if you can even believe it, is eat lots of diverse foods, especially fruits and veggies, right? So we talked about this during Health Corner in our summer series. And fruits, veggies, and whole grains give us lots of nutrients, lots of fibers, lots of vitamins and minerals that are going to help us grow that good bacteria that's all in our bodies. And our food, remember, our food is our fuel. So what we eat is what our body uses as energy. And the more whole foods we eat, the more probiotic bacteria grows in our body. Super, super important. Does anyone remember how many fruits and veggies we want to eat? What should our plate look like? Fruits and veggies should make up what percentage or what fraction of our plate? If you don't remember, you can guess. You can unmute or you can type it in the chat. Totally up to you. Yeah, Gilbert, bananas, kiwi, and grapes are great fruits. That's a great example of some good fruits to eat. But what percentage of fruits and veggies do we want to be our plate at every meal? Who wants to guess? Yeah, you guys are thinking of great examples of fruits. Remember, we want half of our plate to be made up of fruits and veggies, right? So 1/2 of the whole plate should be fruits and veggies. And that's going to help not only with giving us energy and helping us stay healthy in a variety of ways, but another thing it's going to do is it's going to promote a healthy microbiome. Our second tip is to stay hydrated and limit sugary drinks. So if you can even believe it, high amounts of sugar can actually damage the inner lining of our gut. Our gut is just our digestive system, and really high amounts of sugar. There's lots of bacteria that live in our gut or our digestive system, and really high amounts of sugar can actually be really damaging to the inner lining of our gut. So it's super important for us to stay super hydrated, but to limit those processed foods and the chemicals that promote the growth of the bad bacteria. We want to instead stay hydrated with water, maybe some fruit flavored water like this beautiful picture. and eat lots of fresh fruits and veggies. That is going to help us maintain the probiotic bacteria. Does anyone remember how much water we want to drink per day? Yeah, Kailani?
Maybe 8 cups.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We want 6 to 8 8-ounce cups per day. That's perfect. Oh, you guys make me so happy that you're learning good things. Yeah, exactly, Kyle. Yep, exactly, Gilbert. 8 cups of water. That's going to help us stay hydrated, help boost our metabolism, and it's going to do great things for our microbiome. All right. Our third thing that we can do to help our microbiome is to exercise regularly. This is something we also talked about in the summer series. So it's almost like a review. Let's go back. All right. So exercising regularly can enhance the number of probiotic species that grow in our bodies. So does anyone remember how many minutes of exercise we want to get per week? If you don't remember, you could guess. Yeah, Kailani?
Maybe 45 minutes.
45 minutes. That's a good guess. That is a very good guess. That's close to how many minutes we want per day. We want at least 30 minutes of exercise every day, right? So we want 150 minutes per week at least. But it'd be great if we could do more, but at least 150 minutes. Yeah, Kyle, 30 minutes per day. 45 minutes. Yeah, 45 minutes is great. If you can fit in 45 minutes per day, that's even better, right? We want lots of good movement. I know we talked about some fun ways to get movement in our summer series for Health Corner. We can still have fun while we're exercising. I know some of you like to dance, some of you like to walk, some like to swim. Those are all great things. And exercising regularly is going to do great things for our microbiome, which is super important. The fourth tip is to reduce stress. So being under high stress impacts the body's hormones, which are little molecules that can increase inflammation and negatively impact our microbiome. Remember, we want to help our microbiome grow lots of good bacteria, and we want to minimize all of the bad bacteria that might grow. So as a reminder, mental health is just as important as our physical health, and stress has many physical effects on our bodies, including potentially negatively impacting our microbiome. So we want to manage our stress, find a good way to reduce your stress. Does anyone want to share one way that they like to reduce their stress? It could be anything, right? There are so many good ways to do so that we talked about. Yeah, awesome, Gilbert. Being positive. You are such a positive person, enjoying life and meditation. I love it. That's awesome. That is a great way to do it. I know some of you maybe like to color, or Kyle, I know you like to write. You could listen to music. Yeah, focus your energy. That's great. Focus your energy on good things or positive things. Reducing your stress. You go to sports practice every week to reduce your stress. Talk to friends and family. There's lots of great things you can do. Our fifth tip is to keep a regular sleep schedule. So getting enough quality rest is super important for our health overall, but especially for our microbiome. And our microbiome, on the opposite end of things, can also impact the quality of our rest. So when we're eating lots of really healthy fruits and veggies, getting exercise, drinking enough water, it can really help. It can send a lot of good signals to our brain and help us rest better. But when we're not, we're maybe eating out more, eating lots of processed foods, we can feel less rested. And it's all tied together. Does anyone want to guess or know maybe how much sleep we want to get per night? How many hours? You can unmute or you can put it in the chat. Gilbert, 8 hours. Yes, Kyle, 8 hours. Exactly right, you guys. We want 8 hours of sleep. And we want 8 hours of really good sleep. Yeah. So we talked about it before, but remembering to limit screen time before bed, all that good stuff to make sure that we are well rested. Our sixth tip is to spend time outside. This is getting probably so redundant for you all because we've talked about this so many times, but that's because it's so important. Being outside exposes us to so many bacteria and can increase the diversity of the good bacteria in our microbiome. So we want lots of different types of really good bacteria in there to help us digest our food, to help us live really healthy lives. And as an added bonus, if you remember, being outside in the sun can help reduce our stress, which will also help our microbiome, but it also gives us necessary vitamin D boosts. Super awesome. Does anyone want to share what they like to do outside? If maybe you have an activity or maybe you stay active. Yeah, Kailani.
Maybe read a book.
You like to read outside?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love to read outside too. I think that's great. You get some fresh air. Reading can help a lot with your mental health. That's great. I know some of you like to go for walks outside. Some of you might like to dance party outside. There's lots of great things to do. Yeah. All right. Number 7 is when possible, avoid taking antibiotics. So antibiotics are a great tool. Medicine helps us so much when we're sick. But how antibiotics work is they kill off the bacteria that are making us feel sick. So remember that second P word that we learned, pathogenic. That's bacteria that makes us feel sick sometimes. And antibiotics work by killing off that pathogenic bacteria. See, like this little pill, he's got a sword and a shield. He's killing off the bad bacteria. But sometimes it can disrupt the good bacteria too. So we don't want to be taking antibiotics all the time. But obviously, if we need them, we should take them. But when we do take antibiotics, we want to increase all the nutrient-dense foods we're eating, like fruits and veggies. And we can also try to have some natural probiotics in our foods, like yogurt or kimchi, that will help our body replenish all that good bacteria. Super, super important point, especially since flu season is upon us. All right, number 8 kind of goes off of that last tip we just talked about, and it's to incorporate foods or drinks with natural probiotics into your diet. Sometimes our microbiome could use a little boost, so we could try incorporating some of these probiotic-rich foods into our diet. So there's yogurt, which we talked about. You could make with fruits to have a little parfait. It's a really yummy dessert. Or there's kimchi. Miso, you could make miso soup. You could do pickles. Kombucha is a really fun sparkling drink. Could be a good substitute for soda. Some cheeses, apple cider vinegar, sourdough. Does anyone have any favorite recipes they can think of with any of these foods? Like you could do a miso soup or kimchi fried rice or something like that. Strawberry yogurt. Yum, Gilbert. That sounds great. I think I'm going to have that for breakfast tomorrow. That's awesome. And just as a quick reminder, ooh, Cobb salad. Yum. Kyle, that sounds good too. You guys are giving me some good ideas of things to eat. All right, so just as a quick reminder, we want everything in moderation, right? Probiotic rich foods like this list here are great, but too much of a good thing is not good either. So we still want to make sure we're eating super balanced plates. And we've been talking a lot about that. So we will leave it at that. All right. Does anyone have any questions about anything we talked about today? Oh, Kailani, tofu salad. That sounds delicious. Any questions we learned about what we talked about today? I know we had some big new words, but you guys are so smart. Tomato cucumber salad. Yum. You guys are making me hungry. Any questions? No questions? It's okay if there's not. Yeah, Gilbert, what's up?
I have a question and do we need to wash hands for at least 20 seconds?
Yes, Gilbert, we will talk about that in an upcoming health corner, but you are exactly right. We do need to be good about washing our hands too. It'll help us get rid of that bad bacteria, the pathogenic bacteria. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Awesome. Thank you for that question. That's great.
You're welcome, my friend, anytime.
All right. Any other questions? It's okay if not. I know we covered some tougher concept or some new words today. So if you ever want to go back and watch this presentation, you can do so on our YouTube. All right. So our healthy habit challenge for this week is to choose one fact or tip or something that we talked about at today's health corner. And I want you to either practice it or teach it to somebody else this week. Okay. So maybe that means I learned from today's health corner that kimchi is a good probiotic food, right? So this week I'm going to have some kimchi. I'm going to find a way to put it into my healthy habit eating. Or maybe it's I want to teach my mom or my dad or my sister or my brother what the word microbiome means, right? You can choose anything you want, but I want you to either practice or teach it to somebody this week. And I want to hear what you guys did next week. All right. So per usual, if anyone has any health questions, any Malleola ideas or questions, incentive questions or song requests, please email me. I love getting emails from you all. You guys have the best ideas too. So I love hearing from you. That's my email, same email as always. And if you want to watch this presentation again to kind of refresh your memory on what we learned or any of our other previous sessions, you can go to our YouTube, same YouTube as always. Our friend Jennifer here is uploading them for us on a more regular basis here in the office. So they are all up to date. And on Wednesday, we will actually have a new coach training with us for our Wednesday workout. His name is Coach EK. He works at an Orange Theory Fitness here on Oahu, and he wants to come hang out with you guys and exercise with you all. So it's going to be a really great workout. Same ID, same Zoom link, and same time as always. Okay, so with that, I will stop sharing, stop recording, and we will start talk story time.